Hello and welcome to this 1878 checkmate in 2 chess puzzle. Black has the king, 4 pawns, a pair of knights and the bishop. White has the king, a pair of knights, bishop, queen and 3 pawns. It's white's turn. Can you see the checkmate in 2 for white? Checking the king by moving your knight to c3 isn't a checkmate in 2. Pawn can take back the knight. The queen can then take the pawn. And black does something like push their e-pawn, you can then move the knight to f6 to checkmate in just 3. Checking the king with a knight to f6 move doesn't get you a mate in 2. The black king can take your bishop, then you can take the pawn with your pawn, but the king can just take back. There's no mate in 2 this way. Moving the queen in for direct checks against the king doesn't work, because if you move it to d4, the knight can just take it. You then move to e5. If the knight takes, you can checkmate in 2, but black can just take the queen back with the pawn, and then you're not getting a checkmate in 2. There's actually 2 solutions to this puzzle, so pause the video if you need some more time. One way to get the mate in 2 is to sack your queen by moving it to h8. If the knight takes the queen, you can then move your knight to f4 to checkmate in 2. If black decides to advance the e-pawn, you can then move the queen to h1 to checkmate in 2. If black takes the bishop with the pawn, then you can move your knight to b6 to checkmate in 2. And if black advances the e6 pawn, you can then move the queen to g8 to checkmate in 2. The other way to checkmate in 2 is again by sacrificing the queen. You can do that by moving the queen to c3. The pawn takes the queen, you can then take it back with the knight to checkmate in 2. If black decides to ignore the queen with their pawn and take the pawn, then you can move the queen to c4 to checkmate in 2. And finally, if black decides to move their knight to a3 taking the pawn, you can move the queen to d4 to checkmate in 2. That's it for now. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.